And welcome back, everyone, to part 3 of What If Deku Got the System from Solo Leveling. Last time we left off on at the end of the sports festival, Deku was the winner, and All Might finally came to the decision to say, yeah, no, I've seen enough. I think you're the right person to be the successor for my quirk. Now, two things. One, someone said that this really isn't the system from Solo Leveling, and yeah, it is, but it isn't. Like I have to make shit up on the fly with this, okay? Because the system exists within the world of Solo Leveling, but the world of Solo Leveling does not work congruently with the My Hero world. There are no dungeons or anything like that. I have to alter the system to make it work in this world. Now, in a different what if scenario, we can do what the dungeons existed and all that. That's different, because then everyone can participate. But I do have to alter it in some way. But one other person basically said they didn't think it. In fact, I'll see if I can find the exact quote here. Not going to name names. I never do that. You can find the person who made the comment. All right. So where is that? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where? I really want to know. Found you. All right. God, that's from last week. All right. Where was the comment? Where was it? Okay. They said, I don't get All Might giving Izuku Midoriya all for one after learning about the system quirk. The whole premise of life as a game, of the life as a game systems is the nearly limitless growth. Unless All Might is a complete idiot, he should personally train Izuku, but pick a successor who needs the quirk. I think that's a very... Okay, so keep Izuku as a spare tire in case the chosen successor isn't strong enough, whereas prepare 2 strong heroes for the next generation. Okay, I think that's a gross misunderstanding of what All Might was looking for a successor. It didn't matter if someone had a quirk or not, or even an exceptionally strong quirk. He wasn't looking based on power or quirk or anything like that. He was looking on the strength of character that would be required. Not required. He was looking for the strength of character that represented a true hero, that would be a proper successor. He saw that in Midoriya. He didn't spend all the time training Midoriya up, but he saw that in Midoriya. And that's exactly what's happened here, too. Ever since his entrance exam, All Might has taken interest. He literally took on a 0-pointer with no gain to himself to protect someone. He has been putting himself in harm's way because it was the right thing to do to protect people. And then not only that, he's became the winner of the sports festival, but also helped save Shoto from his own ideologies, or not misguided ideology. Actually, it's surprisingly, a little bit of a misguided ideology of what his quirk actually meant to him, not instead of him thinking of it as his father's quirk. Midoriya has still every makings of being a hero. He now just has a broken quirk on top of there, and one for all would even strengthen that further. Like, it's not about having a quirk or not having a quirk. It's about the person. That's why Mirio was actually a really good candidate. It wasn't just his quirk, although that would have helped. It's the fact that he also had the drive and the gumption and the attitude and the outlook of what All Might would have been looking for. Midoriya has that as well. So there is no reason to say that he wouldn't give Midoriya one for all here. If anything, having heard how the quirk works, he'd probably be more inclined, because Midoriya's strength's already off the charts. He probably doesn't even have to worry about Midoriya breaking his bones almost at all. Spoilers, he's going to do that a little bit, but I'm doing that more for comedy than anything else. Plus, first time using a new power, you don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but I completely disagree with that. You're welcome to the opinion. I just disagree with the opinion. Anyway, we would catch up after the sports festival. Now, I'm going to see how far I go on this one. Normally, when I get into this section, I usually stop after All Might is his fight with All for One. I had to actually stop thinking all for one, one for all. Oh god, it's just so tongue twisty after a while. But he would still almost certainly get the call from Gran Torino. Now here it's because originally it's because he saw Midoriya in the sports festival and noticed One for All, so he offered to do his work study. But well, not but here he's still doing the same thing because he thought he saw One for All being used when all my Jisuke just talks like, you must be some sort of clairvoyant or something. Oh, so it was right? No, actually, but I did just name the kid my successor. Wait, you're saying that wasn't One for All I saw on the TV? Well, then what did I see? It's like that was the kid's own power. His own quirk is something probably as powerful, if not greater than One for might be as something that rivals One for All and All for One in terms of raw power. Should note, would say All for One be interested in Midoriya's quirk? Near limitless growth potential, but with caveats about how it works. He'd have to know more about the quirk to understand it and to know if he wanted it or not. We also know that he doesn't necessarily go after quirks that are a little too technical. Like he didn't take Best Genius quirk. I can't remember exact words, but it was something along the lines of I'd have to like really practice hard with that to get it right. I'm not interested in quirks like that. The more simplistic but powerful, the more I like them. That was roughly what he was talking about. So I actually don't know if he'd go after Midoriya's quirk even knowing about it. Though I imagine he'd probably make exceptions for exceptional quirks. For example, New World Order, even though it was Shigaraki going after it, All for One was still kind of pulling the strings in his psyche. So there are exceptions to rules. But ultimately, he says, "You're kidding me, and you just gave him One for All? Has he ever even tried it out yet?" Not yet. We were actually going to go out in a little while and try it out for the first time. After he's pretty much done the assimilation process is pretty much done at this point. It's like, tell you what, hold off on it. In fact, you bring him here personally, Toshinori. I want to see it for myself. And so, yeah, that's going to happen. Now, Deku's hero name. Does he still have Deku as the hero name? I can't see it here. Yeah, Bakugo was under the impression he didn't have a quirk because Midoriya wasn't showing off. Obviously, that was not the case. But so he still called him Deku, but I don't know if he still goes by it as his hero name. I could see him taking on the moniker of like DM or something like that. I could see that. That felt good too. I had to just relocate my thumb into place a little bit. It actually felt I messed up my thumb a little while back, so it's been really stiff. I had no trouble doing that, but I've had the biggest trouble doing that. Like I can't, like even that still is uncomfortable for me to a certain degree, particularly right in the joint area right there. But yeah, that pop actually felt really good. Anyway, so I don't know. I'd say maybe DM as in or DM Dungeon Master or GM or DGM Deku the Game Master. Not a bad one, but he's known as DGM. So I can kind of get behind that idea. So he goes and eventually meets up with One for All or Gran Torino. Now I did say Yoshinori drops him off. Probably not actually. Toshinori's gonna be busy. But like, hey, what? What's happening, Toshinori? Huh? It's like, oh no, oh god, this guy's seen let me see what you can do with your One for All. You originally just got it, right? Have you tried anything with it yet? Well, no. So what is this guy? Are you deaf too, kid? I'm asking you a question. No, I haven't tried using it yet since getting it. All right, well. Seeing as it could get dangerous, I got a spot for us to try it out in. Come on, follow me. And so they go to an area, safe from people, all that. Now, should ask the question, how does One for All interact with the system? Because the system obviously will grant you titles, which give you benefits as you continue on. Obviously, we've gained a couple already. He's got the job title of hero, which is giving him this heroic aura, which is giving him a bunch of effects, and that we'll continue to explore as we go along. So yeah, I'll say right now, the system is going to negate the lifespan draining effect of all one for all, because its design is to make him as strong as possible. Add on to the fact that, taking or lessening your lifespan, it would be sort of like I don't know, I get a negative to your constitution or something like that. It probably will do some sort of counteraction to his quirk factor, to his body, to adjust it out and basically just negate that. Not going to be immortal, at least not from this, but just adjust against it eventually. Because just having it, the system would probably detect something's wrong with the main guy here. Something's wrong with the host. All right, hold on. We're just gonna, plus whatever against deterioration or something like that. Now, because he can pretty much use almost all 100% right at the gate, the question becomes: do the other users, the other vestiges, their quirk factors arrive? Now, I've heard some people kind of argue against the idea that the quirk factors, the quirks themselves, should show up, but there's nothing to say they wouldn't either. That's the problem I've always had with that argument. In fact, that's the problem I always have with arguments like this in general. I have another perfect example of this is the Gara Sandman crocodile fight I just did on Friday. Someone argued that they disagree, and that's fine. And they were giving all these arguments for crocodile, but they weren't giving a comparative argument for against Gara, but they weren't comparing Gara at all. They weren't doing any sort of level of comparison at all. They were just basically they were just putting crocodile on a pedestal while not arguing, at least giving Gara a fair shake at all. Like say, Crocodile's got light speed feats. Yeah, sorry, so does Gara. Gara's Sand has light speed feats by Shippuden era, let alone Boruto. Like, that didn't work. And it's the same argument for him not being able to use the quirks. Yes, Deku is quirkless. Does that help him? Maybe. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt his lifespan, depletion at all. But was that the reason they awoke? Not as far as I can. In fact, if anything, the only reason. Now, they do bring up the fact that him and All Might had the quirk longer than anyone else, is because they were quirkless. But that doesn't seem to be the reason that the quirks and the vestiges, the quirk factors awoke. The best explanation we kind of have is from Banjo, who says the factors have been intermingling and sitting and building for a while, and they finally have kind of reached a critical point. That's really all we get, which means whoever the ninth user was going to be, it sounds like this was going to happen regardless. It just reached that point. That's my interpretation anyway. Now, I know people can argue it, and if there's a firm enough argument, I could see the argument against it. There would at least be some sort of argument there. But the problem is the evidence, I think, supports it on both ends. So I'm content going with the idea that he can still access the quirks eventually. But will he? Will, say, like the system, pull the vestiges out of One for All and just kind of like force him to gain these abilities? My answer to that is probably no. Simply because they are still there in his psyche, in the quirk itself, so they will kind of fight against system to like not be forcibly used unnecessarily, like just casually like that. That's not to say though that system might not do stuff to augment them or maybe kind of help quicken the pace, if you will. It just means that they're not going to be showing up immediately, but they may show up sooner than originally planned. So when Midoriya and All for One, Gran Torino go out to test his One for All, Midoriya's like, okay, gotta remember what All Might said, just focus, and then you can feel the power welling up. It's like, all right, try blowing something like that up. And it goes 100%, boom, it's like, not bad at all, kid. Holy crap! And that's like maybe he does like a demonstration with his own power, which is at this point near, if not at, One for All levels. Like if one for all is the 100%, Deku's at minimum like at a 90 to 95, if not already there. Someone asked me, do I think Deku at this point or at any point in the series would be able to like do like what my guy did, essentially move so fast that he's like in like multiple places at once, doing like pressured like bursts of air and even bending space itself just from sheer speed. I don't know if Midoriya gets to that level of power in this world. I mean, he might, but well, I'm not quite at that point yet. Point being, though, he fires the one for all shot. It's like, yeah, and he goes, ah! It's like, yeah, that was probably gonna happen. Holy crap! Ah! And his legs all, oh god! Ah! I wasn't prepared for that. And just, well, I probably should have warned you. I guess that's gonna end our training for today. Better get you to call recovery. No, it's all right. What do you mean it's all right? All of a sudden, his hand disappears into a pocket thing. He's like, huh? Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, that was horrible. And then he gets like, oh, bone breaker! Or bones of steel. Like, suddenly his bones toughen up. Like System's like, yeah, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen again. I was like, hey, what the heck? Toshinori told me about your quirk, but you're going to have to explain it to me again. So he does. He's like, well, I don't really understand video games, but it sounds like you got one heck of a power there, kid. Yeah, sometimes it's a little hard to control, that's for certain. And he's like, well, anyway, let's see. You're just going to have to learn how to more evenly distribute that power about. And so Deku practices essentially using full cowling version of it, which he gets down pretty easily. In fact, I would say that he should be able to use all of One for All added on to his already impressive strength. All of One for All is also probably on the benefit of like boosting, let's say, like his operating speed in the system, like store, holy crap, dude, and my mind is racing too. Now, why is this important down the road for this? Because this is, I think, where we might start speeding through a bit more of this faster than usual. Because Midoriya goes to find Ida after the whole stain incident. And now he's like, I gotta get there fast, and then he activates his hero aura. It's like, and he starts flying, and he's like, new title lock, seek and protect. He basically gets temporary flight, which then, as he's flying, I gotta find it. It's like, don't worry, Midoriya, calm down. Huh? Wait, who? What? Who's there? It's like, wow, I'm surprised. You really are something special, Midoriya. To be able to use this much of One for All's abilities right at the gate. Toshinori knows well, and all of a sudden in his mind he sees this beautiful woman. It's like, oh, whoa. It's like, it's like, flattery from a young kid. If I were 10 years younger, I'd be more flattered. Might have been interested. It's like, what? And of course, Nana was Nana, I think, only in her 20s. Yeah, she probably would have been Midoriya's age, roughly speaking, around 10 years younger. I am Nana Shimura. I was All Might's mentor. In the previous user, One for All before him. It's like, what's going on here? And then she explains the vestiges. It's like, yeah, every user of One for All has kept a little bit of their soul, a little piece of them in this quirk up until now. And you see then the very first holder of it shows up. Midoriya, and it's good to finally meet you, or it's good to meet you, Midoriya. And it's like, what's going on? It would seem that your quirk has expedited the process of us coming to the forefront. You see, every one of us has left a little bit of ourselves in this quirk, not just our vestige, but our quirk essence and the factor of this quirk, which means every one of our quirks is currently stored in this quirk, and they've been building and waiting, and it seems now is the time. And lucky for you, you hit the jackpot with mine. Seems your ability to fly is only temporary, but I can change that. My quirk allows me to float off the ground. When you combine it with the intense speed of All for One, and the ability and the aura ability you seem to have, what do you think you'll gain? Flight. That's right. But you should be warned. These quirks have been sitting in One for All for quite some time. They've been building and growing. They are far beyond what they used to be. Be more careful, Midoriya. There's still many more of us who are to come. And so Midoriya just starts flying. He's like, I'm coming, Ida! Just eventually sits around and just comes in and really just just cold clocks. Stage pop. Just he's done. Like Midoriya he just knocked his ass cold because he's far beyond. He's literally All Might. In fact, he's beyond All Might at this point. He really is, because you've got all the power of One for All previously, add on to Midoriya's power, which was already on the verge of One for All. So you basically just times One for All by 2, and you got times 2 All Might pretty much, plus all the extra speed, abilities, weaponry, potions, all that would come from it. So he just so is he alive? Yeah, he's alive. Oh, thank God. Midoriya, what are you doing here? How did you? And Midoriya just looks at him, and there's a lot I have to say to you right now, but this isn't the time. Let's get you out of here. And ultimately, Stain starts to wake up. Who hit me? It's like, yeah, you're still alive, or is it you're still waking up? Oh crap! And then yeah, I don't know who you are, kid, but you're in the way. And then Midoriya just brings out his own sword. Interesting. I don't know what this quirk is, but you're definitely got some potential. I'm not letting you hurt my friend. And they're basically going back and forth. And Midoriya is actually really good with a blade. And Stain notes it. This kid's not a pushover. He's actually really good with that sword. Midoriya flips it, blocks. Just boom, he kind of claps his hands, doing like custom. And Stain gets back up. You heroes in the society are all fakes, but you have potential, and I'll let you live. I'm not letting you get near Ida. And somehow Stain is able to kind of I don't know if Stain had smoke bombs on him, but it would actually make sense. Like throws the smoke, blinds Midoriya temporarily. Crap, I get Ida, and then die. Ting. What? And then Midoriya's hand is just outright just wrapping his aura around Ida's. I told you, you're not hurting my friend. His energy, it's wrapping around this kid. This kid, what is he? And it's like, this is over. And then finally just, this time gets the rabbit punch. Just, this time he's completely out. And Midoriya's like, we need to bind him, and they bind him and tie him up. Endeavor shows up. Hero killer. What's going on? Looks like we got here a little too late. Not Toshinori. Inji? That's his name? Inji Todoroki? I believe that's Shoto's dad's name at Endeavor anyway. So he's just like, what? This kid took down the hero killer on his own? You must be joking. Whatever. And so they take him in. They're giving them the spiel like, yeah, you're not supposed to be using your quirks right now, but given the circumstances, we'll let it go. Just don't do it again. And then graduation happens. And boy. So Bakugo's already vehemently pissed at Midoriya for allegedly hiding his quirk. Fuck you. Which he would do that. Not the fuck you part, the hiding the quirk part. It's like, fuck you. I tried to tell you. Fuck you. So there's like, look, we should really try. Look, and Midoriya's really doing his best not to tell Bakugo that he has One for All, but B, tell him that he's pretty much way stronger than All Might at this point. Like, he's trying not to make him feel too bad, but it's just like, he's not making this. Look, we can do this, okay? We can, and he wants to also try to work together too, because that's all I want. It's like, I don't need, and he tries to backhand Midoriya. It's like, because like he did before, he literally smacked Midoriya in the face for no reason. Trying to think, which arc do you think Bakugo was at his worst? Ooh, that's actually a good question. I don't think it's the sports festival. Yeah, he's egotistical, but I don't think that's him at his worst. The graduation exam definitely might have been him at his worst. Him fighting Midoriya the first time around might have been him at his worst. Oh, doggy. Honestly, it would have to be. I think this was him at his as peak worst. And when they're doing their hero versus villain team fight, yeah, he was brutal, but he wasn't like abusive. Here, he literally smacks his own teammate just because he thinks he's beneath him. And he says, I'd rather lose than you accept help. It's like, as long as you have no regrets. Like, yeah, this was probably him at his worst. But Midoriya is smart enough to actually dodge it, or better yet, just to put a shit in his face. Just blast him. He's like, let go of me. Don't hit me. We're supposed to be working on it. I don't need your help, you idiot. This is why we can never work together. Get your head out of your ass. It's like, oh, here, let me help. Let me remove it for you. It's like, and All Might comes in. Now, Midoriya, as strong as he is, having one for all that, and being a minimum twice as strong as All Might now, isn't using one for all. He's only using his base quirk, which means him and All Might are actually relative at the moment. And because he got caught off guard, he does still get kind of like boom, blasted, like pushed back. And All Might isn't taking a chance on Midoriya. He knows just how strong he is, so he also just boom, actually manages to hit him straight in the gut. And Midoriya feels it. He actually feels his ribs crack on it. And All Might says, I won't take you lightly, Midoriya. Even I know you're going to be holding back for Bakugo's sake, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be going easy on you. Midoriya just, and Bakugo just comes in again, gets his ass kicked by All Might. Midoriya ultimately comes in, just smacks All Might straight in the neck. All Might, though, on reflex, because even though Midoriya's got a lot of experience fighting those centipedes and a lot of combat experience in general, All Might's been doing this for like 40 years, so he's still got the better, just trained, honed battle reflexes compared to Midoriya. So that was a good shot, Midoriya, but you're going to have to do better than that. And Midoriya gets hit by the gust. He has to throw his own punch just to counter it. Come on, you idiot. And Bakugo obviously is just, I don't need your help. And so Midoriya's like, you really got to fail this course just because of your own stubbornness and your disdain for me. I thought you were better than that, Bakugo. I thought you wanted to be the #1 hero no matter what. And so instead of him trying to be more compassionate to Bakugo, he actually decides the only way to get through his thick ass right now, his thick ass head, is to kind of like play to his ego, but in a way that is both insulting but the truth, and basically kind of make him forced to like work together. All right, I hate doing this, and so they work together, blast All Might. It doesn't really do anything. Midoriya's got our game plan. All of a sudden, All Might sees rods of light suddenly come down. Midoriya's just kind of like almost got like a hand sign going. He's like, Aura Cage, Bakugo, go! He's basically just holding him there. Just, I see you're using your aura to trap me. That's a new ability. That's quite something, Midoriya. Midoriya, that ever growing quirk of yours, ever growing, ever learning. Unfortunately, it's going to take more than that to keep me down. And then he just, starts blasting. What? He's tumbling to the ground. They just, Midoriya, they clash for a while. Boo, boo, boo. But Midoriya's just, I can't afford to stay here anymore. Just kind of like concentrates some of his hero aura into like a ball, just flashes it like a flash. And then he gets out of there, goes with Bakugo. Come on, keep going. It's like, I'm gotta admit, they're pretty good together when they really try. And so they get to the end and they graduate. Now, Shigaraki and Deku's conversation. Obviously, Shigaraki found Deku after the fact. Hey, you're that kid from the USA. You won the whole sports festival. Oh, I did, yeah. Hey, it's been a while. Maybe we should talk. Get some tea. And Midoriya just saying, I put one more finger on your throat, and you'll decay long before that. And Midoriya actually does clap back. I was like, you sure about that? Huh? And he just looks like, oh, you want to test? I don't know if you want to test that theory. Mind you, Midoriya doesn't actually have full immunity to decay. He does have a resistance, but Midoriya backs off, realizing, yeah, I don't have a full immunity to this quirk right now. Because he can look at all his titles in inventory. He's got resistance, but That's all well and good. If he adds his aura, he's got even more, but it's still not immunity. And on his throat, he realizes very quickly that was a dumb thing to say. Because he can check his inventory automatically. He doesn't, like in his titles, all of his health and HP, all that, without like using his hands if he needs to. That's, I think, one of the benefits of One for All in this case. Anyway, they explain, like, I hate a lot of things. I don't really like much. So but everyone's talking about that hero killer. Why? He had conviction. I see. And so, bye-bye. And so anyway, he heads off. That's my conviction. And then they go into the forest training. And really, Deku doesn't really have to do much here. I will say, though, training this way does probably unlock another one of the quirks. Now, how it unlocks it, which quirk does he unlock? I could see Danger Sense being unlocked here because he's training a lot in hand-to-hand combat from what we see what his training was here. So I could see Danger Sense being the next one actually unlocked. Obviously, the last two, Fajin and Gear Boost or Gear Shift, would probably still be the last two. Goncho's activated out of a need to catch or grab something. Float was in the need to protect people from the ground. Danger Sense activated because he was in heightened danger. We don't know why Fog activated. It was probably just because he came into agreement with the fourth user. I believe that was the fourth user, right? But yeah, I could see Danger Sense activating in this training scenario. I think Koda still punches him in the nads. He doesn't go down as hard because it's a lot tougher, but even the toughest guy will go down for a shot to the nads. He also takes blitzes through the earth creatures, no problem. Then when Muscular shows up, Midoriya quickly just shows up. And you're that kid I saw at the sports festival, huh? Yeah. Oh, I've been looking forward to this. You're pretty strong, huh? And then he just throws a punch. Midoriya at this point is well now beyond where we were before. But now he's truly more than 2 times as strong as All Might at his peak. He doesn't even have a One for All activated right now, but he just throws a punch and boom! Him and Muscular literally just and then he activates One for All, like 50%, which is another thing he's probably training with is the percentages. Just goes 50% added on there. It's like, you're pretty tough, but it's not good enough. Now Midoriya's just looking. It's like, I told you, I'm not letting you hurt. You. It's like, and again, I just like doing that. Just, I coughs up blood. Just, United States, or not United States, but no, smash. Just puts him into the ground, puts him in the dirt. I can maybe even see him breaking not breaking his spine completely, but like fracturing like vertebrae and stuff like that. He's like gonna be in the hospital fractured for a while. Are you okay, Koda? Let's go. And he gets the orc, covers it around him to protect Koda, and they get out of there. They're swift. Now, this I think is now a real big difference. Unlike in the last one where he had lightning-based speed, here Midoriya's speed is, it's fast, but he also has other abilities. And so, Bakugo, I would contend Bakugo doesn't get captured here. But Midoriya literally gets to the spot in time to actually make sure Bakugo just doesn't get caught and just boom, kind of, he's about to punch them in, but they get sucked into the Kurogiri, hole. I think it was Kurogiri who brought him in. And so there you go, which leads to a big change-up that will come on Thursday. One for One is not captured here. He's still out and about. So that, I think, is a big change-up that we're going to actually have to look into and see what that effect plays into. But anyway, let me know what you thought. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.